Hey there, tech enthusiast. Get ready for Tech Ties and Human Vibes, the podcast where technology in the AI era meets the human touch.
Hey, I'm Adam Nelson, and you are listening to another episode of Tech Ties and Human Vibes. I'm your host for today, and my co-host is Nancy Henriquez. Nancy?
Hello.
I was going to say, you can say hi. And we are here today with Gianna. Gianna, you know what? Our listeners don't know about you. So tell us about yourself, who you are, what you do, where you've been.
Of course. I am first off, thank you for having me on the show. I am so honored to be on a show with Nancy and Adam. How exciting. I am Gianna Whitver. I am CEO and co-founder of the Cybersecurity Marketing Society. We are a global organization of about 4,000 marketers at 1,600 cybersecurity companies. So we do education, networking, career services. We help marketers in cybersecurity become better however we can. And I've been running this now full time for about 3 years and having a lot of fun.
Wow.
That is awesome. And that's a lot of marketers in one place.
I know. Imagine if they were all together in one room. It would be kind of scary. There'd be way too much positivity.
Oh, I love that.
How did
Go ahead, Adam.
why, I guess. We won't go with why, but how did you
Good
get
question.
involved into this?
That was like a very accusatory why, and I love it. Like,
Why?
why? So I started my career in tech, and then I took a few, meanders through different industries. I was in commercial real estate investment for a little bit doing, real estate work, which was super cool, building buildings, so different than tech. And then I took another turn, got back into tech, which was cyber though. And cyber is a way different type of tech. I was new to the industry and I felt like I was punched in the face. It was like everybody's talking acronyms, everybody's mad at me. Everybody's talking about say like ASPSM and DASTY and all these words that I had no idea what was going on. And I was at a very small company. I was at a small business, and I had no one to talk to who was in marketing either. So basically, myself and my friend Maria, a couple years later, after we had a few more years in the industry, we talked to each other. I was like, "Hey, Maria, you and me helped each other, right? We were at different companies, but we were helping each other along the way. Why don't we expand that to more people?" So we started a Slack group with 10 friends in the industry, and it just grew and grew from there. And that's kind of why. It's kind of random and by accident, really.
That's great, though. That's
Yeah.
great. So let's dive a little bit further in your back history. So you started out your career in tech. What tech did you start out in? Like
Middleware and servers. So I worked at IBM in Research Triangle Park in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Yeah.
So you started out with the OG, basically.
Yeah, I mean, they were still selling servers and middleware. So, yeah. And it was a great first job. I had not worked in tech before. All my internships have been like sell things and flowers and intangible goods. So, it was wonderful. And I love Raleigh, North Carolina. Totally recommend it for anyone who has not visited or hasn't decided to live there. But yeah, that was where the career officially started beyond, internships and jobs in college.
Yeah. Very cool. I've heard side note, I've heard Raleigh is kind of like what is it? The East Coast Austin? That's what I've heard. But I don't know.
I mean, I would say so. It's big, it's bustling, it's cool, it has great food. It was still affordable when I lived there. It was a really great place.
But is it weird?
It's a little
Like
weird.
Austin.
It's a little weird. Coming from a little bit more of a maybe like I grew up in New Jersey, so moving to Raleigh was a culture shock, but it was so cool. It was awesome, and I totally vibed with it. And I sometimes wish I had stayed there.
So from there, you moved out of the tech business, tech industry, into
Mhm.
commercial real estate. Like, how do you make that transition?
It was one of those things where I had a mentor who turned into a sponsor because he pulled me along with him. So I had a mentor in college, my entrepreneurship professor, who I didn't know about entrepreneurship growing up. My mother and my father worked in a warehouse, like they just did jobs, and I like didn't know you could be your own boss, or that I think the highest aspirations they had for me was that I would work in an office, which I did, which is great for them. So, but I had no idea that entrepreneurship was even a thing. I was like, so that one day at my college, there's a man sitting in like the cafeteria, and he just has this big sign with him, and it said, "Tell me your idea." And I walk past him, and I literally do one of those movie like double takes where I like turn around and I'm like, I have an idea to make ice cream in the shape of sushi, because I think that'd be cool. And it was not a great idea, but it was the idea I was having at the time. To be clear, I don't think that would sell. But he became a mentor of mine, and I took all his classes. And one day he introduced me to this guy who was starting up a real estate development company in Florida. So I packed up after interviewing, getting the job, I left Raleigh, I packed up my bags, I moved to Tampa Bay, Florida.
I love
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
I also think that maybe nowadays, sushi shaped ice cream would definitely sell, because like
Me too.
kids of today are so fancy with how they eat.
Yeah.
Like my kids included, they love sushi, and like the gummy candies that are
Yeah.
like you can put them in different, or they come in different shapes and sizes and all of that. Like they have the sushi ones. My kids love that. So I can just imagine them going crazy over ice cream sushi.
Well, have you
As
seen
long as
the
Thank
it's
you.
not like
fried
sushi flavor.
have you seen the bucket of fried chicken that's actually ice cream, but it looks like a bucket of yeah,
No.
they were on Shark Tank. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, I could have been up on Shark Tank
You
with my
could have,
Yeah,
and when
you
you
could have
said that, I
been.
thought, "Oh my gosh, this is a total Shark Tank thing." Yeah, yeah.
For anyone who's watching the video, I'm literally writing down like the fried chicken ice cream Shark Tank, because
Fried
I have
yeah.
to watch that later.
It is a bucket of ice cream, but all of the ice cream is in the shape of fried chicken. So when you pull it out, it's like a chicken wing, but it's ice cream. It's so crazy.
That
It's
sounds
awesome.
Maybe you were
amazing.
just too early for that idea.
That's the thing. The
But
market wasn't ready.
the market wasn't ready, but now it may be. That is
Mm.
awesome. So how did you get into cyber, and then how, like, I know you've explained getting a group chat started and all of that, but what was the need that you saw when you decided, okay, we marketers need to come together and kind of figure this out? Like, what was that need?
I think it was like the loneliness of it, of the feeling of being the dumbest person in the room, or the feeling of being, I don't understand, I'm not succeeding, I'm not excelling. I think that was it. It was knowing that, because I know there's plenty of small cybersecurity businesses out there, or businesses where there's only one marketer. Usually a marketer is not very technical, it's not hands on doing hacking or pen testing or anything like that, or providing the services that prevent that to the customer. So they're over here in a silo. They get all their information from the people doing the work, and if something new comes along, they have to learn it. They have to learn, what is blue teaming? What is red teaming? I had to learn everything. What is purple teaming? What is malware, right? Basic stuff that if you worked on the other side, on the tech side, you would understand, right? Or if you had like an IT or technical or security background. So I think there was a big learning curve for me, and I wanted to know if other people had the same challenges I had. And I wanted to get also information from others in the industry, because there wasn't anything out there where we could share information either. So, as marketers, we hold, the budget for a lot of stuff, trade shows or webinars, things like that. And I wanted to know if, also being new to the industry, if I invest in this, am I going to get a return, or am I going to waste all my budget and then get fired? Right.
Mm. Yep. Oh
So,
no,
yeah.
that's true. That is such a huge responsibility, but like understanding the marketer side of things, it's like it is, I'm assuming, one of the most difficult positions to be in, but yet it's also like the key that unlocks everything, because it really is taking the really technical side of things and interpreting it in a way that everyday people will understand. And that's really like, if you get that right, that unlocks the door, ultimately speaking. Would you say that that's your experience as well?
Yeah, it absolutely. You have to say the right things that people care about to the right people too. So it can get very complicated. Think about, selling to a small business, selling, anti-ransomware services, like unless they care about that, then they're not going to buy it and they have a million other priorities. So how do you make it so people care about it? Or if they're not the right person, how do you quickly identify that and move on to the right prospect so that you're not wasting everybody's time in the whole process? And even big companies, Fortune 100s that are purchasing things, they have, of course, their super technical team that buys and uses products and services and solutions and works with, the people that they procure, or the solutions they procure. But then there's also like the procurement team who is not technical, who's like, you want to buy this? Like, what is it? I don't get it. Right. So there's all these different types of people that you have to talk to. And on the technical side too, if you're not talking the right way or not communicating or explaining the value the right way, then they're going to be like, fluffy marketing,
Love that. Fluffy marketing.
Fluffy marketing.
Mhm.
So when you started this organization, um, did you envision it being the size that it is today? I mean, you hold a really nice event.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we run the event Adam's talking about is Cyber Marketing Con. It's a 4-day conference all about go to market in cybersecurity. So anyone who is marketing, selling, security products, solutions to people who buy them, we have tracks covering all aspects of the go to market. We just started a sales and sales engineering track this year. We have a track for founders and CEOs. We have a track for product marketing, field marketing, brand marketing, separate tracks for the CMOs. And yeah, we're probably going to be at like 700 people this year at the conference. And I
Wow.
did not expect, when Maria and I first started this, I think we had no idea that it would become the
I was
size it
gonna
was.
say, how do you go from a group chat to a conference with 700 people? Like,
Well, you start with a smaller conference. So at the end of 2022, people were getting antsy to start getting back together. And we hosted our first event and we had, several thousand, maybe 1,000 people in the group at the time. So we didn't know how many people would show up. It was in Arlington, Virginia at a Sheraton near the Pentagon, actually. You could see the Pentagon from it. Interesting. And we thought that 80 people would come. We were like, okay, 80 people will come to this thing. And then 218 people actually bought tickets and showed
wow.
up. So that's when we knew also that we had something special that people wanted and that our community and our conference was providing value is at that point.
Wow, that goes to show you like how many people were trying to not only understand the technology side of it, but how to how to sell it ultimately. Like how do you interpret all this technical mumbo jumbo to like what people really need to hear? Because especially cyber, it is so important nowadays. Like
Yeah.
it touches every aspect of business and industries around the globe. So like that's huge to have that type of response, especially the first go around. That's great.
Yeah, we were surprised, honestly. Like again, we had set the bar at 80 and we were planning like what if not 80 people come. So we had our contingency plans in place too.
That is awesome. I bet you, looking back on that, you probably just, I mean, still today, you've got to be blown away, right?
Every day I'm grateful, I am honored, and I am like having the best time in my life, basically. I'm so pleased. I think this really scratches an itch for me, which is a combination of building stuff and helping people. I think the most satisfying part of the society is when someone comes to me and says, "Hey, you helped me find a job." Because that's when people, especially if they're having a miserable time at work or they don't have a role and they're like looking and it seems bleak, like we have dedicated monthly, actually every week we have a dedicated jobs therapy call where people can come on. It's hosted by one of our members and talk about their job search and help each other. And when people come to me, after they've been in the community for a little bit and they're like, Gianna, I found a job through your job board, through your job therapy group, through messaging someone else in the community, that's the most satisfying feeling in the world, I think.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, I could see that being very satisfying. So what I was going to ask, outside, I know you from the event. Outside of that, what else do you guys offer?
Outside of the event, we have 21 monthly virtual meetups for anyone who is a member of the community. We do a monthly virtual meetup on field marketing, on channel marketing, and partner marketing. We have some networking ones. We have a product marketing one. Basically, any category of marketing. We have a CMO one that's only for CMOs, etc. We also have 3 newsletters we send out. We have an active jobs board on our site, and we're currently working on other educational things to help our members be smarter and better at their jobs. And we also have a podcast, Breaking Through in Cybersecurity Marketing, which is on the Cyberwire Network.
Nice. Yes,
That
I've
is
heard the
awesome.
podcast. It's very good.
Thank you.
So you said the job therapy, like that's the first time that I hear something like that in a community or in a group like that. Like how did that come about, and like how did that get started? I love the fact that you're calling it job therapy, because I think that that is so needed.
Yeah. So a lot of our initiatives, and the reason we have 21 monthly calls is because our members suggest them. So the members of the society, it's a very active Slack community. I know some folks are in Slacks and they're like dead, or Discords, or whatever, wherever platform you're on, virtual community. And it could be like nobody posts, nobody says anything. We get like 100 posts a day. We hit 200,000 posts last year. When I pulled the Slack metrics, like 200,000 messages being zipped back and
Wow.
forth in the community. And um, so it's very active. So members often, and the people who join our community I think, are intrinsically helpful people too, because of our brand and because of the value we provide in creating connections and helping. It's like a core value of ours, and I think it really shines through. So members will join, and then they'll say, oh, I have an idea, I would like this. And sometimes we have the bandwidth to run it ourselves, but sometimes we're like, would you like to run this? So my dear friend and longtime member, Andy Gorginis, who is a product marketer over at Before.ai, runs our job therapy call. And what we do is he runs it, we promote it, we provide all the tech and the platform, and we get and people come every week to come talk about how their career is going, and how they can find a new role quicker.
Huh.
Wow.
So what is it? What is there a cost to this for the end user?
No, isn't that crazy?
Well, it is very crazy.
Yeah. So right now our we fully make all of our money on sponsorship. So any sponsors who are listening and find that what I'm saying interesting, feel free to reach out. But yeah, right now the community is completely free for any member. We do charge a ticket for our conference. We put on a very high quality conference, and it costs us quite a lot of, just to be honest, like quite a lot of money to run. So we do charge for tickets for the conference. And we charge once in a while. We throw a party at RSA that also is extremely well run, with Wagyu beef and fancy, unlimited
Nice.
bar and stuff like that, right? So we also charge a nominal fee for a ticket for that. And it always sells out. So, I'll be honest, we're exploring a paid membership. We want to do it the right way.
Yeah.
We want to make sure all of our members continue to feel and see the value of what we're doing, and to know that the society values them above anything else, and that we're here for them. So if we're thinking about, a paid membership, we're just making sure we do it very carefully. For now, the society membership to our Slack is completely free and has been for 5 years.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
great. That's a lot of value. So you mentioned sponsors. For if anyone is listening, who would be an ideal sponsor for you?
Oh, yeah. So that would be like an agency, a MarTech solution provider, anyone who wants to reach security, specifically security marketers, go to market teams, founders. Those are the types of folks who have the best results sponsoring the Cybersecurity Marketing Society.
Okay. Okay, awesome.
So where
So
would
we,
they Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
oh, go
Nancy.
ahead, Adam.
No, I'll ask at a later point. Go ahead.
I You made me forget my question. No. ADHD brain here. Now it's like squirrel gone. But speaking of squirrels, it's not actually a squirrel. I did see on your on I did see somewhere something about a bee, and I was like, I'm gonna need to ask, what is that about? And you're wearing a sweater, so what is that about?
So a long time ago, and I'm not really involved in the beekeeping industry anymore. Um, but I love colony insects. They're so cool. It's like bugs, but they like all live together, right? It's neat. It's like most bugs are solo, and then there's like bees and wasps and ants. Like how cool that they all live together. Anyway, I just think they're neat. I love nature and animals. And so a long time ago, back when I was still in Florida, I actually started a website called Lease Honey that matches beekeepers, landowners, and farmers so that beekeepers could find places to put their beehives. Because
Very
in
cool.
thank you. Yeah, in cities or in places where beekeepers don't own a lot of land, like
Yeah.
they might rent a house or an apartment or something, they need a place to put their hives. You can't there's actually like space requirements between hives or they fight each other and some cities and counties and towns have requirements based on how many hives you can have per acre. So I started a website to match them, and I was involved in the American Beekeeping Federation for a while too, which is a wonderful organization. And if anyone listening is a beekeeper, I recommend you join your local and state beekeeping association, but also the American Beekeeping Federation.
Wow, that's so interesting. I had seen on the news yesterday, or they were talking about how in here in Dallas, where I am, they have started to incorporate beehives, and they have like they paint them and make them really cool to put them like on top of buildings. And so
Mhm.
now in like the skyscrapers, there's like a bunch of bees, and it's like that is so cool.
Yeah,
So that's
it's
awesome.
it's nice to give that, like, nature feeling, especially if there's, like, a rooftop garden, and then for, like, hotels and restaurants, chefs like to use the honey locally too. They could go right on the roof and just grab, like, a nice chunk of honey for whatever they're cooking or as part of charcuterie. It's a really cool concept.
Yeah, super cool. So I love the fact that you love communal insects
Oh,
and
yeah.
you've started a community.
I put
That's
that
so
together too. I thought
true.
the exact same thing.
I have literally never thought of that, so thank you. That is such a good insight. I'm
I love
serious, I've
that.
never thought of that, like, I've never
Really?
tied those lines together. I just know that I like bugs that talk to each other.
You also like people that talk to each
Humans.
other.
Yeah,
That's
humans that
true.
talk to each other too. And that spread messages because ultimately speaking, that's what marketers are.
That's true. That's very true.
So
That's very cool.
if someone wanted to join the organization or reach out to you or whatever that process might look like or be a sponsor, what all of those what how do they do it?
Yeah, so time for, like, a lot of syllables. So, um, we have, 2 websites. So we have Cybersecurity Marketing Society.com, which is the main website for the community, and then we have our conference website, which is Cyber Marketing Conference, and I'm trying to remember. Yeah, cybermarketingconference.com. If you Google search Cyber Marketing Con, you'll find it as well.
Okay.
And then I'm on LinkedIn, and my name is also has a lot of syllables and it's hard to spell. It's Gianna Whitver. So feel free to look me up and connect with me there, or reach out via either of our websites.
I'll put your websites in the description of the video as well and the
Thank you.
podcast. Yeah. So I'll do that for you.
Yeah. What would you say is one of the biggest challenges that cybersecurity marketers in particular face today comparatively to maybe marketers and other technologies?
Yeah, so I think that it is still very competitive to stand out, to break through that noise. So, excuse me. You guys aren't boring. So there are like, I just looked it up today because someone was like, how many security companies are there? And I was like, so I looked it up. There's like 3,500 security companies out there. I don't think that counts like MSPs, MSSPs. I think that just counts like honestly like product companies and managed services plus product companies. I don't know if that counts just pure services. So there's a lot of companies out there, and I think there is, and regardless of the mix, that's like a lot of companies to be competing with. When think about it, who's buying security products? Usually it's like the CISO and like the security team. It's not like
Mhm.
everybody else. So it's not like we're selling to marketers and salespeople and this huge amount of like, we're not selling to the finance department unless they're part of the buying team. But so there's a very limited amount of, it might be IT, depends. But still limited amount of folks who purchase cyber products and cyber solutions and services. So it's very hard to stand out. And, it all boils down to like, we're going to make your team more efficient or we're going to stop breaches. And like, how do you differentiate? It's very hard.
Oh yeah, that is very true. I mean, in our one of our previous guests had mentioned how, nowadays when it comes to a lot of cybersecurity products, they're very similar in how they work, and
Yeah.
so being able to now compare apples to apples is, like commoditization, right? Like that's what it comes down to. So, what is something that you guys do to be able to help marketers really kind of tell be able to get their product to be different or stand out, or do you guys offer any kind of advice in terms of the direction of the product as well to make it different?
I mean, that would be awesome. Currently, our community is very helpful. So, along with myself and Maria, co-founders, our whole community is willing to basically help other marketers. So, if they're having a challenge, like, "Hey, I can't look at my homepage copy. Does it like make any sense to you guys, or is it just like fluffy marketing fluff, right? That's not going to attract the buyer or not differentiate."
Hmm.
Then a lot of the members of the community are willing to like get on one-on-one calls with folks and just provide their feedback and thoughts. Besides that, we try to arm marketers with the confidence to ask the questions they need to ask to get to the like, how are we different, and to push back, especially product marketers. That's part of the product marketing role, is positioning and differentiation. So as a product marketer, and we have a dedicated product marketing call with like a very seasoned product marketing executive who runs it, who anyone who has like a question on positioning or messaging can join that call and get live feedback like right away, um, or be advised or given some advice on how they can talk to their own company about, hey, like I really don't think this message makes any sense, or I don't think we're differentiating, and how they can take that next step with the product team and bring that back to product so that they can consider other ways to differentiate the product.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. So a lot of support there, which is fantastic. What would you say, or Adam asked this question to the last guest also, so I'm gonna steal it this time, Adam. What are some like cringe stuff that you've seen that is like, really? And talking about that fluff marketing aspect, like dig into some of that.
People need to
I
stop right now. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so I try not to throw stones because I do know that a lot of fluff is like committee. It's
That's
like
true.
not just
Yeah.
marketing. A lot of times it's like the whole company is like, let's be fluffy. And marketers are actually like, wait, how do we differentiate? And they just get steamrolled. But I would say that there's a lot of confusion about AI right now. I think people have a lot of AI enabled products or AI products or solutions. And it's like, what does that mean? I think people forget the how when they're talking about AI in particular. Like, how is your AI? How does your thing that is, AI, how does it work? Why does it matter that it's AI? Like, does that add a benefit to the customer? Or are you just saying AI because it's cool? So,
Mm,
at our conference this year, we're actually doing a 1 hour product marketing workshop on that specific topic, which is AI messaging. Like, how does your product like integrate AI? Is it actually an AI native product? And if it is or isn't, how do you message in a way that's authentic and conveys the value without it being fluffy or BS, basically? So
Hmm.
Oh,
we're
I
very
can
excited about
definitely see that.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that because that is like the hot term of the season at the moment. It's all
Yeah.
AI or agentic AI and all of that stuff. But that's like how do you ask the real questions as a marketer, as someone that needs to interpret the technology to the consumer? Like how do you know, like, what are some of the real hard questions to ask, like, really, is does it actually do that? Or
Yeah.
yeah.
So hard questions to ask in nice ways are just asking why a lot or how a lot, right? Like let's just peel back that onion. Like, why does our customer care about this? Okay, because it does X. All right, why do they care about that? Like why? And getting to like as close to the pain point as actually possible. Um, or how does this work? And it's just again being armed with like, and maybe this comes with some sort of, maybe your first day you don't do this, but like how, ask how enough times that you actually get an answer and not just like whatever corporate mumbo jumbo the person it is that you're talking to, like the product person or the salesperson or whoever you're talking to. Get to some reality of what does our thing do and why do people buy it. Another thing is listening to customer calls. As a marketer, I loved listening to customer calls and I loved hearing about like why our customers were super mad that our product didn't do this or they loved this feature. That also helps. And then the last thing, not the last, there's so many ways to do this. Another thing is actually taking your message and putting your competitor's brand up there instead of yours and being like, is this like, would this actually work? Would this work for them? And then
Ooh,
that's when you know you're not different either. You're like,
ooh,
oh, anyone could say that. Huh. So
yeah, that's a good one.
I
I
like
like
that.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's almost like, are you just repeating what is out there versus really differentiating. Ooh, if I can speak.
yeah, it's like if someone else could say the literal exact same thing and everyone would be like, yep, that's them, and not even realize it. Like this is,
Yeah.
you can probably work on that.
Yeah. Oh, and that happens a lot in the MSP space too.
Mhm.
Like that's where it becomes, and I tell people all the time, like you're talking features, you're talking like things that really don't matter when it comes to the customer perspective. When you're talking about the same things that all of your other competitors are talking about, like that's not
Mhm.
what they truly care about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and they'll tell you too. That's the great thing about, I'm glad we sell to people, like, and we market to people is you could get like feedback. Either they're not swiping their credit card or signing up, or, they tell you to your face, like, I don't care, right? They tell salespeople, like,
Yeah.
who I don't care, right? You get that feedback like
Yeah.
fairly instantly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
That also reminds me that, you also can't let, a no become the answer, right? Like, that's the what deters you, that rejection aspect of it, like, "Oh, they said no once, that's it, we're done. It didn't work." It's like,
Yeah.
"No, you gotta keep going. You gotta receive the feedback and figure out why."
Mhm. Why isn't it a good fit? Is it because you have no budget? Then maybe it'll never be a great fit. But is it because some other thing? Maybe it's something the way you talk or the way you message or your feature set or you have what the answer is and something that they would want, but you just don't, nobody knows, right? They don't
yeah,
get it. So, mhm.
Yeah.
I like
Oh,
that.
that's the hardest part. I think, of being a marketer is uncovering the solution that's within the problem that the customer cares about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not about how cool you are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh,
It's finding that pain point and making it resonate with what you offer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, well, listen, Gianna, we've come to the end of our podcast, to our allotted time. Nancy, do you have any additional questions you want to ask before we?
I do actually. I had one thought that just came up. I know, Adam, sorry.
You're good.
Um, well, so in the channel, in the MSP channel,
Mhm.
I know I've heard a lot of layoffs happening, and things like that. So it's more of a definitely a serious question.
Yeah.
Um, why do you think that companies immediately go to laying off marketers and the sales teams first when I feel like those are like the most important parts?
Yeah, I think marketing, I can't speak to sales. Hopefully they're not a cost center, but marketing is largely viewed as a cost center still and not as a strategic business driver. It's from the history of marketing being like, quote unquote, the arts and crafts department. Oh, we made like a pretty banner or whatever, right? And folks don't a lot of very technical folks don't understand the value of strong communication and strong, not all of them to be clear, but
Yeah.
strong marketing and a strong brand and how that can drive revenue and customers. So, and when things are tough, marketing is spending money. That's what marketers do is they spend money. They build websites, they buy programs, they do events, and that is why a lot of marketing teams I think are cut first.
Oh, it's the wrong move, people. Wrong move, I think. So with all the layoffs that have happened and things like that, I would say definitely go to your community. And so to wrap things up, where would they go find you again?
Absolutely. Anyone who is an in-house marketer at a cybersecurity product or services company is welcome to join the Cybersecurity Marketing Society at cybersecuritymarketingsociety.com. And, it's a really long URL and I appreciate you typing it out.
I mean, is it possible you could have made one longer? Just curious.
I mean, I guess I could add an S at the end or something. But yeah, I think we have one of the longest URLs of anyone I talk to. Like nobody has something as long as ours, which, it's not really a bragging.
Thanks for joining us today on Tech Ties and Human Vibes. If you'd like to keep the conversation going, exclusive tips from our speakers, and more, head over to the community at sibylcommunity.com.